Chim 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 charu.
I boop.
Dude, that'd be funny if you were like a band and that's how you tested your mic every single time. Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And we are doing another script, return, revisit, we're going back to the island, Jack. It's Halloween 3D, the movie no one wanted and no one got because they didn't make it. But they made a script, and we're gonna talk about it today, again.
Michael, you see? What you did right there. Right there's an issue. I still have got them back problems to this day. Don't touch me. Michael's a piece of shit.
Halloween 3D, Rob Zombie's, well, you know what, based on Halloween 2, masterpiece that never came to be. You know what, I gotta be honest, I kinda liked it. I kinda liked it.
I feel like, I swear to God, I feel like, because the reason we're doing this, we just did the Halloween Returns one, I'll put that at the end of this video. But the reason we're doing this is because it's almost been 10 years since we covered this script long ago, and I want to say that you hated it. You double and back sack of poop.
You're allowed to change your mind in a decade. I don't know if you know about that.
I'm not sure your taste went to shit. Hey, professionals recording.
Yeah.
I thought that was the cat.
My wife's farting. She farts so much. She's just always farting.
What?
Nothing. No, I didn't say anything. She's beautiful. Beautiful woman. It was the chair. It sounded like you farted.
I knew you were going to tell people that.
You tooted.
Oh, Toots McGee over here. So, Halloween 3D, yeah. It's not written by Rob Zombie, but they were going to make a Halloween. They were going to make it 3 and 3D. It's going to follow up Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and it was by Patrick Lussier and Todd Farmer, who is the team behind such... Drive Angry is actually pretty dope.
That's actually a good movie.
I love Drive Angry, but also My Bloody Valentine 3D. And you can tell, in the script, you can tell it was written by those guys.
You can definitely tell that it lacked a lot of usual mayonnaise skank that Rob Zombie would normally put in there. There was some, but not as much.
Their own flavor of skank.
It did feel like, yeah, there was, maybe when I first read it and I reviewed it, I didn't really give it a chance, or I sped read it, I don't fucking know. But I gotta be honest, I thought it was better than, by far better than Halloween 2, and it was action-packed. There's one thing about this script was it did have a lot of action, and it was focused solely on Michael. Now, they did go back to the same bullshit, like, let's show his face again. Like, you don't have to do that, Jeremy. Just put that fucking alcohol down. It's affecting your work.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that one scene they did show.
Yeah, but it was kind of cool how they
Look
revealed...
into my eye!
Well, they kind of revealed it, though, whereas the mask had been burnt into his face, so it was hard to distinguish whether or not that was his face or part of the mask, because it was all jumbled together. Toothpaste.
Yeah.
It'll never stop healing if you don't stop picking. But yeah, at the end of the day, I did like the focus was a lot on Michael, way more than what we had seen before, whereas Halloween 1 and 2 was more focused on Laurie Strode and their fucked up life, and then a goddamn unicorn with a white flowing dress and Sherry Moon Zombie's titties, which at a different time you might like that, but at this particular instance I was like, I'm over those saggy things. Let's see.
Had Rob Zombie directed this, at one point they dig up the dead body of their mom, and if Rob Zombie had been directing it, you know that like the corpse with like its mouth missing, he would have been like, but then we rolled it over and we saw her crack, and the camera zoomed in for 32 seconds on her crack.
And Michael smelled it.
Still nice.
Michael stuck his face in there and smelled that.
Just jumping from the starting point though, they literally, I mean, it starts with Halloween 2. We start back in that shitty shed that you can smell. It smells like a...
like old pee.
Yeah, it smells like a defunct
like
KFC,
old pee and vomit.
That nobody ever cleaned for 17 years. But in this script, what happens is she's stabbing Michael in the...
in the wiener, yeah.
Yeah, she's stabbing Michael, and then she realizes she's stabbing Loomis.
Well, she doesn't realize that he's enjoying that stabbing.
Yeah, Michael's loving it. He's loving it like McDonald's. But no, she kills Loomis. She's the one who kills Loomis, and they kind of revert history or whatever. And then she goes outside. The cops realize that they arrest her. Michael went underneath the house, underneath the shed, into a cross base.
Yeah, he said, ninja vanish.
He escapes into the woods, and he's gone. And then she's dumb. She's terrible at crime, because she's out there in front of the cops. She's like, no, oh my God, I stabbed Loomis, and Brackett's like, shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. You didn't. She's like, oh, I did, dog.
Yeah, Brackett's basically like, say, hey, we got to call J.G. Wentworth first.
And then she gets in the car, and Brackett's like, oh no, my daughter's dead, you're all I've got. And she's like, do you ever shut the fuck up? And it gets really Rob
Hand across
Zombie
the
right
face,
there.
smack. You don't ever talk to me like that when I took you in. By the way, I could honestly see, like, this would have been a meaty role. I think we all can agree in Halloween 2, the best performances of that film was Brad Dourif and Danielle Harris. That was the best performance of Halloween 2.
Yeah.
You could say what you want. That movie did suck big old donkey dicks, but it was still had great performance by Brad Dourif and Danielle Harris. So I could see him really chewing the scenery with this particular role, because at this point, I did like the kinetic energy at the beginning, because it's like it does remind you of Halloween 1 and 2, where it's the same night and but it moves at 100 miles an hour. When I was reading this, all the action's happening really quick.
That's true.
So I like that.
Nothing but action, you could say, really.
And I feel like this would be like the writer would be like, yeah, you fucked up real bad in Halloween 2, Rob. You know, like that first 30 minutes of Halloween 2 was awesome. We're going to make it better. And most of that's going to be kept going throughout the entire film.
I could see that in part. And like, so the script's supposed to be 3D, right? Obviously, it's Halloween 3D. It's kind of cool what they do here. I didn't notice this. Are you getting some DoorDash? What's going on?
I wrote a note.
I made a note.
I wrote a couple of notes.
But Jay's got the. We're so old. Jay's phone now has the big numbers on it.
I have it titled RZH3.
But it's so stupid here, because as they're pulling away, and you can tell Laurie's about to go bad, and she's about to team up with Michael, which is one of the dumbest things you can do in Halloween ever. And I do like Scout Taylor Compton, but they ruined everyone's character in H2. So at this point, I don't like the character because of what she became in H2. Like, who becomes obsessed with Charles Manson because their whole family got killed by a serial killer? It doesn't make it stupid.
Yeah, her whole character arc was pretty much at the end was like, I just want to hang out with my friends at Spencer's and smoke weed and talk about the band Ghosts nonstop.
I just want to get fucked up and play some cards.
ICP for life, Juggalos.
But then as they're driving, Michael it's kind of poorly explained in the script, because it's like all of a sudden, bam, Michael's face first through the windshield.
Yeah.
Like, did he just go, woo, and fly into it, or what?
That motherfucker Houdini out of nowhere. It was like, give me back my sister. Yeah, it was a little bit rough around, like, you definitely, this had to be the first draft. There was no way.
Michael grabs his mask and his knife, and he's like, take my hand if you want to live.
So
she takes his hand, and then the two dumbasses saunter off into the fucking forest together, which is dumb as shit. They go over to Michael's mom's grave site.
Of course she does.
Yeah, and unburies his mom, and we go over to a new group of people, and it's just this is like the third group of people you'll meet in this.
There's too many.
It's a bunch of people hanging out, and this is where we get real.
Some chicks are making out on the couch.
Yeah, this is where you get to, you know who's writing the script when you hear that, because there's chicks making out, and she's like, oh, we should do more of that later, yeah. And then they're doing all that shit, and then there's a girl, and there's like a fat girl over there with her ugly boyfriend, and he's like, I'm getting real turned on, Teresa, and she's like, I'm on my period, Jack. Oh. And there's a lot of gross shit like that, like, oh, so they were really going for the Rob Zombie perfume.
They want to make it genuine.
Yeah, they want to stick to what came before. But they all go out together to try to toilet paper some houses and shit. They run into them in the cemetery, and Laurie's like fucking helps Michael kill these people.
I thought, well, here's the thing: those death scenes that happened in the cemetery were clean. They sounded badass, like where Michael was fucking them up and like broke that one guy's head open on like the tombstone after he dude, it's not clean as fuck.
Typical for the two movies that came before. When Zombie killed someone, it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell one thing. I mean, Zombie has an eye for choreography and or as far as like filming those death scenes, and that did look like it sounded really good. I saw it in my head perfectly.
He saw a lot of backyard wrestling in the trailer park growing up. Is what happened.
Well,
he knows his fights.
He's like, man, I grew up in a freak show.
I grew up in circus.
I grew up in circus, man. I saw all the like say,
a lot of Paul Malls.
If the bearded lady wasn't getting her fucking paycheck for the week, you gonna have a fight. I don't know why I made him sound Appalachian, but that's just how he looks like he'd be Appalachian.
Yeah, but so she throws this girl named Amy in the casket with her friend.
Laurie didn't actually kill anybody. She was going to, and she kept not being able to do it.
Yeah, well, she threw her in the casket and closed.
She did that, but she didn't like actually stab the girl because she was going to. There's a scene where she's like, she just couldn't bring herself to do it.
Yeah, but she does throw her in a casket and close it. And if the cops didn't get there, Amy would have died.
Yeah, and that's why Michael took her knife back, or took his knife back. He's like, give me my shit. He's like, you
don't even know how to use it.
You ain't ready for the boom boom, you know? And he's like, you're not ready for that. Like he got pissed off. He's like, I gave you a fucking lightsaber.
That's true. Michael's pretty smart in this script. Honestly, he uses her as bait, and when all the cops show up, he goes crazy, and you kind of get a H6 strobe light scene where he just mows some people down and takes some people out.
And also one of the newer characters that were introduced, well, we didn't mention them. There's two newer ones, and they do come into effect throughout the script, so we have to mention them. One of them is very much similar to Dr. Loomis, Cooper, who is the lead TAC guy for the SWAT team or whatever for the cops, and he's like an old grizzled veteran, and he's cool. I kind of did like his character a lot. And then the takeover for Loomis is Josie, who he is secretly fucking, which of course that's what it is. And I think even in
Female Loomis.
Well, even in the script, he's like smoking hot. Like, so you know that they were going to cast some hotties.
Yeah, they fuck on a desk, and he's like, he's like, is this the guest doctor's desk? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, I didn't want you spilling your seed all over my desk. And he's like, baby, I'll spill my seed anywhere you want.
Like, get Rob Zombie out of the writer's room,
You know,
for 5 seconds.
Zombie would have casted Captain Spaulding in that role. I can see
Probably.
it right now.
But-
no disrespect to him, but
Yeah, so Josie is the new, and the reason why they even bring her in is because she apparently worked with Loomis and knew as much about Michael as Loomis. So that's why she was brought in as the takeover. And she's like, Loomis is an asshole. Just get him. It's like, well, he's dead. And she's like, oh. And then so she becomes, and that's what.
I seems an asshole.
But Cooper is cool, and Cooper actually grows on me.
I like Cooper.
I feel like he would be, yeah, he's a good replacement for Brackett, which will tell you why. Because unfortunately, old Brad goes out the way like his Chucky TV series.
Laurie shoots him in the fucking face, man.
Dead.
That's so stupid. That's so dumb how that happens.
Yeah.
Awful.
And it was another one of those that she's like, I thought I was killing Michael. I was like, how many times are we going to come back to that bullshit?
That bitch is lying.
You sound like P. Diddy. I know that they was underage. You lie. You lie.
Yeah, so that all this action stuff comes to a head on the side of the river. It
Yeah.
comes ahead on the side of a mountaintop, and they're in an ambulance, and you get a crazy action scene where Michael ends up wedged between the seats, and there's a fire. The ambulance is on fire, and you hear that the mask is bubbling to his skin, which is pretty fucking dope.
That
But
is
at this
cool.
point, you got to remember this is H2 Michael, so he's all hairy and shit. So hopefully it burned off that beard and he looked kind of normal again.
Yeah.
But probably looked like he did in Halloween Kills a little bit. And then they used the 3D to send the ambulance careening off the ledge. And like the way we see Michael allegedly die about halfway through the script is from our point of view, the back doors of the ambulance are open and it goes off the cliffs and the ambulance comes towards us and it veers up into Michael and it goes into his black eye. And then he goes off the ledge and he allegedly, the whole town thinks he's dead.
Yeah, I read that. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's so corny.
That scene was being written for the 3D element.
Yeah.
So they had to add in a lot of corny and cheesy ass shit or effects.
100%.
But it was still cool overall. I will say this would have had to been the first 30 or 35 minutes of the movie, and it would have been nonstop action. And again,
true.
heavily focused on Michael fucking shit up. Badass Michael, back to being normal Michael. You know, not running around going whoa and like hanging outside of strip clubs looking like he smells like mayonnaise with lice in his beard. Jump cut now.
To Dream Warriors.
So a year later, Laurie's locked up in the nutty house along with Amy, who was also a survivor that night. Michael got his licks in. Brackett's dead because of Laurie. That's why she's going to be in the mental asylum, and she's, you know, I didn't know. She's a liar, but she's in there with Amy. Cooper, who's a new hero that was introduced, had been badly damaged by Michael. I think he had been sliced to the leg and fucked up pretty royally.
I'm thinking Dewey now. He's limping around.
Yeah, he's limping around. Well, he reminded me of, dude, honestly, Cooper reminded me a lot more of Loomis because he's also very obsessed.
That's true, too.
And very
But
insane.
he's
and
younger.
He's doing the limping thing. And then we have Josie, who was also fucked up but still maintained her hotness. We just have to make, because I think even the script explains that she's still hot.
Don't worry, she's still hot.
She's still feeling that goodness.
Yeah.
And now now it takes place then. It's a year later.
The script was written by LL Cool J. He's like, her nice round melons.
Yeah, bosoms on top of bosoms.
What you talking about melons?
I don't know. It's just part of my job. No, but yeah.
Baby, go work for my daddy.
They're all at the insane asylum. And by the way, there's a lot of callback and nods to other films in this movie. So there's a callback at one point to Scream. There is a Halloween store, the kids opening up boxes of Halloween masks, and one of them happened to be the guy. I mean, we're jumping all over the place, but this script is lit. It would be here 3 hours if we were going to go
Honestly,
through
we can pretty much speed past what happens next.
Yeah,
you know?
but it is cool that he did drop in some hints or references or nods to other film franchises. Like there's a Scream mask and a box of masks, and then he puts that aside, and then there's only one mask in one box opened, and he's like, "What about this mask?" And it's the Myers mask, and the store owner's like, "That one's been discontinued," which is cool. I like that. And then Myers shows up to take that mask, and then I do like how sometimes when he puts the mask on, the script says Michael fucking Myers. Like this guy was excited. This guy was excited to have the bat revealed.
There's so many spelling errors though
Well,
throughout the entire script. I was like, did you read this a second time?
Well, they
like,
did.
even a second time.
And then they dropped a lot of nods to Silver Shamrock and Halloween 3, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
And then they did also, I don't know if you noticed it, but one of the final moments of the film take place at Plissken Park, Snake Plissken, which is badass too.
And that's so basically there's a whole act that we're pretty much going to zoom over because it's semi-entertaining to read. It's okay, but it's Dream Warriors. There's a bunch of other troubled girls in this troubled youth house or whatever.
It's a nut house, yeah.
And there's all the this and that. The cool part that's going on through all this is basically when Cooper is talking about how nobody else believes Michael's dead, but he's got a map like Charlie Day in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's got a map of the pinpoints. They kind of did this a little bit with Halloween Ends, where he's like, I'm telling you, he's still alive. This person's dead. These people are dead. He's got Michael Myers' mother's urns on his desk that he uses as like a trophy.
He cremated her remains. I think Cooper's the best part of the story.
I would agree with that, yeah. And Michael's got a great kill in here, too, because when he's threatening the orderly and he leaves, the orderly goes back inside, and the other girl he was fucking, shows back up and is wearing the Bob outfit. Michael Myers wearing the ghost outfit with the glasses, but it turns out to be her just fuck with it, but then Michael Myers appears from behind and kills him, so that's a cool scene. There's a lot of there's nasty deaths in this too. A lot of nasty deaths.
I actually just looked at my notes because my favorite death scene happened at the end, or not the end, but toward the end, when Dr. Kibner, the other guy that's helping out, when Michael saws that motherfucker's head off in the aquarium, that sounded would be gnarly.
Oh yeah,
that was
sick.
Woo! I was like, that one's nasty right there. That's nasty right there.
And a lot of deaths are in 3D too.
By the way, we also got to remember, we didn't mention this, but Laurie Strode at one point has said, "My name's not Laurie, it's Angel." Oh. I was like, that sounds stupid.
Call me Boo.
Yeah.
Michelle Mabel.
Yeah.
They really don't even focus on actually what's going on with Laurie. It's just like, I'm a crazy bitch.
She's a background character in a lot of the ways.
Yeah, so then she fights with Amy and another stuff. There's something that gets really dumb in this script, which I could totally see happening if Rob Zombie was directing as well. Basically, the girls band together when Michael shows up.
That was stupid.
It starts out cool because all the lights go out and the emergency lights come on and all the mental patients are going crazy or whatever. But they all know Michael's there at this point. He's coming to get them. And the girls like tape a bunch of knives to they make like fucking spears and they all attack Michael together. And the way it's explained is that 70s, like all these really hot half-naked chicks are attacking Michael Myers.
I got pissed off. I was like, first off, no goddamn nutty fruitcake bitch is going to do Michael like that, all right? There's no fucking way. And Michael does do all right against them, but there's just a lot of crazy
He picks
going
up
on.
one and puts her head through a fucking fan, which is pretty cool.
That was a scene but yeah, that was the end. That was when I was like, this my Michael.
Yeah, and also
I feel good about this.
Pretty cool. He puts a bunch of pumpkins on a tray and lights them on fire. He's like, we gotta call the shit.
Yeah, I like how one of the girls that are locked up is in there for like pyromania, and she's like, and she stares at the fucking jack-o'-lanterns on fire, and like Michael do somehow like watch this firebug fucking get distracted by fiery jack-o'-lanterns while I was like, all right, but yeah, that whole sequence was like, I was like, is this like a girl power move? Like, oh wait, what are we doing? Michael still whoops ass at the end of the day. He still gets up, but that whole sequence was dumb because the whole thing was they were going to use Laurie as bait to bring Michael in and fucking kill him, and then they were going to kill Laurie.
He was like, "Come on, fifth."
Yeah, it's really what the best part of this script was is the end.
Yeah, it was fucking dope because they escape there. All that shit happens there, and he's like, "Come on, fifth." It's like let's go, cuz. He doesn't really do that, obviously.
I like how Cooper ran out. He's like, "Laurie, you don't have to go with him," and she's like, "I have nowhere else to go."
Like Chris Farley in Wayne's World 2.
Yeah,
I got no place else to go.
I swear to God, dude, I felt like the writer was shitting a little bit on Laurie because like she's fucking a trauma queen. Like it's like I'm over this.
Yeah. So they go to the park, the Plissken Park, where the big Halloween event's going to happen, and it's kind of cool.
It's not dope.
Yeah, Michael's rushing through. They're all rushing through, and nobody pays any attention because it's a Halloween parade. Michael, the hidden in plain sight. I don't know.
Yeah,
whatever.
Something. It's a word.
So it was dumb. But there's a gigantic pumpkin. There's a big inflatable pumpkin like on the stage, over top of the stage, so you can get the atmosphere of what was going on here. And they all chase him up there, and it all ends up with basically Amy ends up handcuffing herself to Laurie so that Laurie can't get away. Cooper sneaks up to Michael, and his whole plan is he's taken C4 and stuffed it in Michael's mom's urn.
He's like, yeah, this motherfucker see this shit. He gonna go crazy. He thought she was going to kill Amy and finally give in to the edge, Michael. And she's like, no, fuck this, I want to die. And it's like, God damn you, emo. And then she cuts her fucking hand off to break free of the handcuffs, and now she's free.
And then, like, it's so fucking stupid, actually, what they do. Because she points the knife at her tum-tum, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, she hugs him, and, like, he stabs her, and she dies. And
Please play Sarah McLachlan. I will remember you.
In Michael's head, he was probably like, do you want to build a snowman?
Feel the rain on your skin. Laurie tells him, she's like, I'm not like you, Michael. And he's like, oh, well, I could have told you that. You wasted my fucking night. And then he's like, yeah, and then he kills her. And then so Laurie Strode's story is done.
Yeah,
and
which is nice. That's nice.
That's nice. For
I
you.
like
Good
that.
stuff. Good stuff. And
Enough.
now and then Amy runs to Cooper, and Cooper's like waking up out of the fog after Michael fucked him up, and he's like, "No way!"
It's very Saw.
And yeah, dude, Michael had found the C4, and instead of blowing up with it, he stuffed that fucking thing into that guy's gut, giving him the worst heartburn of all time, and then left him, and then. Cooper's it's like saying, Amy, don't get closer, and she runs, and there's a big explosion. Motherfucker gets disintegrated. Cooper's gone, which sucks. Amy gets blown away. She's, got a scarred face probably. And then Michael's like, I'm out. And then he's like, I've done my piece. I've said my piece. The fucking jack-o'-lanterns are on fire. The visuals of this ending was gonna be fucking amazing.
Very mid-2000s.
All the cops are showing up. The ambulances are coming. Amy's like being hugged by Josie, who's the new Loomis. And she's like, what happened? She's like, shut up. And then she looks across the street and she sees Michael, and it says Michael fucking Myers again, like Michael in all of his glory, staring at him while the fucking jack-o'-lantern's burning. And then the music, they said the Halloween theme music starts playing and it starts crescending. And I was like, I could see that shit.
End of script. There we go. So it doesn't really leave us anywhere. It actually kills off everyone pretty much except for Amy.
So the ambulance goes by and then Michael's gone. So Michael's still out there, and now Amy's the new Laurie.
Yeah. So and basically if they wanted to, they could just walk away from Amy and just do a whole different thing. So in that aspect, if the franchise just wanted to move away from Rob Zombie, they could for sure. It would actually put a linchpin in everything for a minute, but like also it really was. You could tell that this would have been like a My Bloody Valentine 3D. I think it would have been. It wouldn't have been as enraging as Rob Zombie's H2 because they didn't piss on the character so much. But I really do. When you read this, you get the vibe that this was going to be some like 7th grader who listens to too much metal.
Well, I appreciate that after watching Halloween 2, and it's focused on Michael's doing shit, like not him walking around without his mask on, looking like a homeless baggy guy outside of a strip club doing shit. This is full on Michael, and at the end, I feel like we graduated. And now he's supernatural because he got stabbed several fucking times.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's all supernatural.
Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of like, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'd be a good version of Resurrection, like a rock and roll version of Resurrection, but it definitely wouldn't have been a movie you could take seriously. Just like a silly fucking, I don't know, like what am I thinking of? Like Ghost Ship. You know how Ghost Ship, like Mudvayne played at the end though, so it was cool. Like that.
It had an early 2000s horror vibe to it.
Yeah.
But I think that it needed that after what Halloween 2 did to a lot of hardcore Michael fans.
I agree. It would have been better than Halloween 2. I don't think it would have been better than Halloween 1.
No, it wouldn't have been.
Rob
and also,
Zombie.
I hated that Loomis was gone, and the way that I think this writer was doing his best with like the shit pile that was left in.
100%. That is true.
That you're like, hey man, your team fucking sucks, and I gotta do my best to get them to the Sweet 16, and I'm gonna do my best with these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But hey, by the way, you got he's got like a goddamn charge against him that he's got court hearing Monday, and we got a game Tuesday. And he's our starting center.
I can see why they almost made it because, like, honest to God, like it would have been better than Rob Zombie's H2.
Do you know who it feels like this was wrote for? The Weinsteins. I feel like the Weinsteins were like, you're going to make another script that goes and fixes what the fuck you did.
It 110% was, and it felt like a Weinstein script for sure. Here's the thing. Would I have wanted to watch this movie for shits and giggles? Yeah, I think it'd be really entertaining. But I'm glad it doesn't exist in the filmography of Michael Myers.
I love it. I wish it did.
I will say that.
I just think I feel like it's a pimp slap to fucking Rob's face.
I think it would have been like Freddy vs. Jason, kind of.
Maybe,
like
but
that's exactly it. It would have felt like Freddy vs. Jason. Like it's a rock and roll fun movie, but like, damn, we really like. We're in the bargain bin right now. I feel like.
Well, I mean, that's a place to be after fucking Rob
it's
Zombie.
Better than H2, yeah, but
Rob Zombie took it to a yard sale buffet. Like this was at least fucking Golden Corral.
It's like ECW wrestling.
It's not. Yeah, it's like
Sure.
Rob Zombie gave you like the backyard wrestling videotapes. This is ECW. It's not. I mean,
yeah. I think that's the best analogy.
But I actually wish it would happen because I think it would have been such a that's why he would never have directed it. Because he would be like, you're not going to discount my work. And they're like, no, we're going to take a shit all over what you did with Halloween 2. Because they did. They discounted everything he was going for in Halloween 2. There was no Sherry Moon Zombie. There was no unicorn. There was no real actual ever plan for Laurie Strode to take over for Michael.
Yeah.
It was just her being emo and fighting against the urges that Michael finally be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
This is true. So check out the script. It's available online for free. You can find it, read it for yourself. This is the second time
we should get the writer on the show.
Well, you know what? We probably could. Actually.
I'd like to talk to him about it.
I would. Them and Marcus Dunson. We should try that sometime. We should reach out and touch face.
Hey, y'all want to be on a goddamn mid-show?
I'm going to do the whole song. Love your fucking faces.
Bye, guys.
Talk soon, bitches.
My name's Jeff.